Hello and welcome to part 3 of our series on armories. My name is Dante, better known as the Night Shift when it comes to these videos. We are currently hovering low over the ground on Gotham Earth 3 again, and in this video I'm just going to show you a bit more that you can do with armories in terms of function. So this is a newer creation, Capitan Vell. He is in what's called the Buster Cannon role. It is designed for range and damage. You'll notice that a lot of the on-screen, the head-up display is missing. I removed that and other things to make the frame rate and video run a little smoother. It's tricky to play like this because, this isn't just a trick for the video. I removed all that stuff, so I can't actually see my controls, and so it's a good way to practice because you got to really remember what all the different buttons do and know where you're going, because there's very few on-screen markers. But it's only for the sake of this video, and it ends up working out so much. So as I said before, the Buster Cannon is a ranged build, and it's actually not designed to go running around or flying around the streets anywhere. This is a party build, so if I go into a mission that needs DPS, I'm more likely to go into this role than my standard DPS role, which is designed for running around by myself. I don't particularly like to use ranged characters to run around solo. It's just strategically it's tough because, as you can see, even though that guy has a gun, he closes the distance, and so when you have a ranged character, their melee abilities usually leave something to desire, and that is also the case with the hand blaster. So this character would not normally run around on the streets. Now this guy is designed for the streets. This is the Union Suit build, and this is the official costume of the Global Response Team. So in this build, it's a couple of differences. One, the weapon is different. The other one, he fired lasers, a hand blaster. This is the brawling build. So basically, punches and kicks. And it's designed to be far more up close and personal. The atomic tank build is, the powers are made for it. So you can see most of the powers in this build are far more right up in your face, and so he's designed for me to go anywhere in the game. This is my walking around costume, so if I am queued up for a multiplayer mission while I'm off in another world like this, like Earth 3 is a different version of the Earth, so I'm not in my home turf, I can run around doing this mission dressed like this, and if I queue up for a mission, I can switch to whatever role I need in that mission once I get to that scenario. But for all the solo stuff I have to do, this is what I'm wearing. And like in the previous video with Dr. Fatewind, part of it is cosmetic, but it does offer me like a lot of unique differences. This character is more durable than the Buster Cannon character. He has more stat points in health and defense than that character does because his design is to get right up on the enemy. So he has to be able to take more punishment. So the Buster Cannon is actually physically weaker than the Union Suit, which is nice. Oh, little tidbit, that guy isn't a little person or a child. It's just that in the early parts of the game, the character sprites were a little bit different. And so they made certain characters bigger, but a lot of the classic villain sprites like that guy never got updated. And that's why he looks like he's, an 8-year-old. That's just, a little tidbit about the game. So, yeah, this is Earth 3 Gotham, and we are running around a park that apparently is dedicated to crime because all these criminals are just kind of standing around with giant recording devices. Like, this is, talk about broad daylight, I'm just saying. So, I cut through a lot of this because it gets a little repetitive, and You gotta beat up a lot of these guys to complete this mission. It's just beat up everyone you see as a bad guy. It's a good place for demos because you don't run out of cannon fodder. I mean, those guys are just in that park. It's a park for criminals, apparently, with a big statue of Owlman in the center. And if you want to go beat up some criminals, go to Criminal Park, apparently, So yeah, there's a statue of Owlman back there. Just gonna keep beating up criminals for a second or two, and eventually I'm gonna switch to the final costume piece, the final build. This is like the one. Here it is. Now this is the costume piece that I wanted to make from the very beginning. I wanted to make this character since the game first came out, but they didn't have the bracelets, and they finally got the bracelets, and so I was able to make Capitan Vell, and there he is. So this is my actual tank. This character is designed to stand right in front of the main bad guy and piss him off and keep his attention while the rest of the party does what they do and gangs up on him in the end. So this character is designed to be durable. Almost every single power in his tray is a self-heal. So every time he does anything, it not only does something called Spark Aggro, which is basically makes the bad guys key in on him, but also it gives him health and defense. Like, the whole point is not to defeat any of the enemies he fights, but just to keep them focused on him while the other more deadly enemies stab him in the back, so he's there to take punishment. And he's a work in progress like a lot of my other characters, but so far so good. So, thanks Capitan Vell for showing us some of your sweet moves, and we'll see you in the final video. You can like and subscribe. I'm going to make these videos regardless. Peace.